All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, despite widespread economic hardship and soaring inflation across the country, the federal government has allocated 5 billion naira towards the renovation of Shetima's official residence in Lagos. This update dominated the front pages of major newspapers hours ago. 21 billion already spent on Shetima's official residence in Abuja, another 5 billion towards the renovation of the one in Lagos. Yet somebody thinks that a revolution is not long overdue. Notable West African journalist Zagazola not too long ago posted a video of the ongoing recruitment of jobless Nigerian youths into the new terrorist group Lakurawa. This recruitment is taking place in Sokoto State as we speak, and nothing is being done to stop them. Shetima is busy renovating his residence in Lagos. TINUBU is in Saudi Arabia attending an Islamic meeting, and the nation is crumbling. And as the video of this terrorist group recruiting in Sokoto began making the rounds, one would think that TINUBU would pretend to care by issuing a statement, but nothing has been said. Instead, a very disgusting statement to Nigerian youths from TINUBU was what began making the rounds. And I couldn't believe that after destroying Nigeria for 18 months, this kind of declaration could proceed from TINUBU's mouth. And just as we were yet reacting to that, one of TINUBU's ministers shocked Nigerians. He shocked Nigerians when he openly implied in an interview that himself, TINUBU and APC are only on a mission to capture states and win elections and not to govern and make life better for the people of this country. I don't think there has ever been that kind of statement from a minister in this country. But if anyone had any hope left in this regime, this revelation by a serving minister should erode it. Before I show you details of that declaration from TINUBU and details of this revelation by one of his serving ministers that shocked Nigerians, let me quickly show you these videos.
The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, has justified the treason charge that was instituted against some minors who participated in the recent #EndBadGovernance protest that was held across the country. The AGF maintains that no law in the country forbade the prosecution of minors, adding that President Bola Tinubu's decision to terminate further proceedings on the case brought against the teenagers was purely on compassionate grounds. The AGF, who spoke at an event in Abuja, also adds that there were suggestions that the minors should be tried at a family court.
If you look at what the facts in possession of the security agencies, you will marvel. But the president has come out to say, in spite of all this, I have children, I have grandchildren, if not great-grandchildren. And that was what motivated his largesse or his passion to release them and also enable them in some ways. So the credit goes to him for giving a compassionate consideration to the release, the treatment of the young chaps that were released. But let me seize this opportunity to clarify something. People were under the impression that because they are children, they are minors, all sorts of theories have come up. There is no law in this country which says a minor cannot be tried. And I've also heard, they should go to a family court. A study of the law and the constitution leaves you to no other conclusion that it is the Federal High Court that has jurisdiction in matters bordering on treason and allied matters. So the chapter is good. But what about the situation? The president has closed the chapter by his decision to have these young men released.
You saw that. First of all, the attempt of the Attorney General of the Federation to paint TINUBU as one who released the minors out of compassion is false. The minors were kept for over 90 days in detention and TINUBU was fully aware. If he had compassion, he would have freed them long ago. He only freed them now because of public outcry and because of the international disgrace he received from arraigning them for trial. And secondly, this interview shows that this Attorney General Lateef Fagbemi na big mumu. He said no law says don't try minors. Okay, does any law say go ahead and try minors? No. It's a matter of common sense. Everybody with a brain should know that children should not be arraigned for trial in court. As soon as those children were shown in court, everybody with common sense began complaining. They said, what is this nonsense? This does not make sense. So what this man has demonstrated in this interview is that he severely lacks wisdom. And it is just a shame because of the position that he occupies. The next video here is that of Madi Shehu taking us back in time and giving kudos to Jonathan while blasting northern leaders. See the video.
The expression that good intentions are not enough appeared to have played out in the northern part of Nigeria, where most of the Sangaya schools established by former President Goodluck Jonathan are now shadow of themselves. Shamefully and painfully too, the buildings are not only dilapidated, the pieces of furniture have been destroyed with an inhabitable learning environment. Social crusader and public affairs analyst Mahadi Shehu says northern leaders must apologize to Goodluck Jonathan for failing to sustain his vision after campaigning against his return in 2015 despite his good intentions for the region.
But Jonathan dedicated federal resources meant for the nation to rehabilitate these Almajiris. Soon after he left, we know where the structures are now. All those Nigerians who abused and casted aspersion, including myself, on Jonathan during his own regime, to apologize to Jonathan openly.
Mahdi says violent crimes will not end soon in the country unless the Almajiris are taken off the streets to the classrooms.
While politicians use them for political reasons, they don't look at the other side of the consequences of creating more Boko Harams out of them, more Ansaru out of them, more armed robbers out of them, more 419ers out of them. And these young men who have been denied all the essence of life, all the goodies of life, who have been traumatized, reduced into pitiable combustible materials, in a manner of speaking, will one day emerge very soon to identify their enemies, not far enemies, close to them, and they will take revenge.
Empirical evidence shows that the Sangai schools failed to function because most state governors left its funding and provision of food for the Almajiris who were taken off the streets after the administration of Goodluck Jonathan.
You heard that. Jonathan knew, just like every normal human being, that education was a potent weapon against terrorism in Africa. Over 98% of bandits and Boko Haram members are stark illiterate. So when you educate children, you are destroying the future of terrorism. You are cutting it short from the root. But when you leave children uneducated, you are almost directly sponsoring terrorism because you are giving them a pool to fish foot soldiers from. But the APC, being a party that backs terrorism, came in and destroyed Jonathan's efforts, made sure that the Almajiris were thrown back to the streets so that they can become Boko Haram members in future. And now there's a recruitment going on in Sokoto State, the new terrorist group. They are recruiting people. So it is those children, many of them will be those children that Jonathan tried to educate about a decade ago. Being illiterate, they are now being recruited by this new terrorist group. And of course, thousands of children have been thrown out of school by the policies of the TINUBU regime. So he too is, further extending the pool for terrorists to come and fish foot soldiers from. You think all these things are mistakes? No, they are deliberate acts, because the APC had a pact with these terrorists from the point of formation that they will help them to thrive in Nigeria. Why are they doing all these things? Why are they trying to destroy their own country? I still cannot explain. But I tell you, this is what they are doing. Point blank, period. Now, let us look at those two updates that have become the major talking points in the Nigerian political space right now. First of all, it was that disgusting declaration coming from TINUBU when he should be talking about what terrorists are doing in Sokoto. He came up with that very annoying declaration. And next, that update from that serving minister who claimed that his appointment was purely for political reasons. They have nothing to do with improving the lives of the people. All they have come to do is to grab and snatch power. Let's start by taking that declaration from TINUBU that angered Nigerians. Look at how the papers reported it. Stop seeking greener pastures abroad. Official BAT urges graduates. Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerian graduates to utilize their knowledge and skills to uplift society and contribute to the country's growth and development. Tinubu made this appeal during the 29th and 30th combined convocation ceremonies of the University of Uyo held at the university's main campus along Waniba Road on Saturday. He advised graduates against hastily seeking opportunities abroad, calling on universities to pursue innovative research that advances national development. Education is the cornerstone of national development, he noted, and it must be both responsive and transformative for progress to occur. He continued, the government has invested significantly in your education, equipping you to make meaningful contributions to the society. As you step into the world, I urge you to be agents of positive change, using your skills to uplift our society and contribute to Nigeria's growth and global development. Resist the urge to look for greener pastures elsewhere. Together, we can make our own pastures equally green, if not greener. I ask for the support and understanding of Nigerians towards the government's economic reform programs, despite the challenges they bring, he added. You heard that. That was Tinubu there trying to gaslight, fresh graduates in Uyo to make it look as if he cares about Nigeria, to make it look as if he's actually setting up a future that can, augur well for them. But we all know it is not true. You are saying that together we can make our own pastures green or even greener. It's already green for you. You have billions of naira. The crude oil is there. You are taking it out of Nigeria, refining in your own refinery that you have built for yourself in Malta. And they are importing petrol back into Nigeria, selling at exorbitant prices, extorting the people. And you and your colleagues have made sure that the local refineries that belong to all Nigerians don't work. So the pasture don't already green for you. But allow people who want to go out to make something out of their lives go. Don't try to gaslight them. It doesn't make sense at all. And King Imas here says, official BAT, stop going for treatment abroad. Stop saving money abroad. Stop investing abroad. If you do all these and invest in health, education, technology, and basic infrastructure, Nigerian people will stay and make the grass greener. A man that does if he coughs today wrongly, he will run to France. And you are telling Nigerians not to seek greener pastures? What kind of hypocrisy is this? And Ramoto Olani here says a man who spends a good portion of his time abroad. One of his daughters also lives permanently in America. And you are telling young Nigerians not to go. Now, on to that devastating update from Tinubu's minister. I always say here that this government is a joke. All the appointees know that they are not there to do any work. They are only there to steal, to enrich themselves and work towards the next election. When they steal, they will give returns to the likes of Gbajabiamila, Remi Tinubu, Sheyi Tinubu, and all that. They give them their own returns. Then you walk towards the next election. That's basically what they are there for. And to all those who doubted us when we pointed this out, listen to what Tinubu's Minister for Housing and Urban Development said in this interview. Look at how the papers reported it. My mission is to recapture KANO for APC, says Housing Minister. Yusuf Abdullahi Atta, the newly appointed Minister of Housing and Urban Development, says his mission is to recapture Kano State for the All Progressive Congress (APC). Atta spoke with journalists in Kano at the weekend following his swearing in as a minister. Kano was under the control of APC when Abdullahi Ganduje, national chairman of the party, was governor of the state. The party lost control of the state to the New Nigeria People Party (NNPP) in the 2023 polls. The housing minister said his appointment was mainly for political reasons. APC has lost Kano State and now it will take Kano State. The main problem is the Kano Central and I am from there. Daily Post quoted him as saying, even as a minister, I will continue to sit in this ward. We are going to work very hard to see that APC gains control of Kano State by 2027. I am posted to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. I will do my work, but I'll be coming to Kano State every week so as to work towards gaining control of the state. You heard that. Now, housing and urban development in Nigeria, that is one of the most important ministries in this country because shelter is one of the basic needs of man, top 3. And the housing deficit we have in this country is extremely alarming. Numbers came out the other day, but I can't quite remember now. Millions of Nigerians who are homeless or living in substandard houses. As a matter of fact, when they pointed out the number of Nigerians that are living well, that are living in houses that are considered good for people to live in, the number was very extremely low. So this is a ministry that any serious government should take very seriously. But here is the minister of that ministry telling us that his concern is to capture Kano State for TINUBU. That is his concern. The man does not even know anything about housing. He doesn't care. He said he will be going there every week. For him to say he will be going to Kano every week, that's to tell you that he will not even leave Kano. He just didn't want to say everything. He's not even going to leave that place. And he's not the only one. This is how all the ministers under this man are doing. Everybody is there for a specific purpose. You carry CBN governor, you put him there so that he can be packing the CBN money. You carry one and put him humanitarian service so that you can be siphoning money from there. This one is there now. Housing and urban development. He said he is there because of 2027. What a shame. And this tweet here says, zero interest in good governance, just politics to Fiakwa APC. That's what the APC stands for. And this time around, we are not the ones saying it. It's a serving minister that is saying it himself. And this tweet here by Khalid says, not sort out the housing issue that has made apartments no longer affordable, leaving millions without homes. Okay, now, he doesn't care about that. What is his business? As long as he has houses to take his side chicks and his mistresses to, he doesn't care about Nigerians. And Olani Olawale here says, and when you recapture it for APC, what will happen next? And Olori Buruku Gbogboyi, Alayerinrun, your end will be terrible. Rather. Amen. And this video by Elicitor says, he has carved out his desired primary objective for himself. If you were expecting him to provide houses for Nigerians, maybe you are waiting for a sheep at the airport. He didn't actually carve it out for himself. They sat down and they agreed on it, all of them, including TINUBU. And this tweet here by Emmy says, there is no gainsaying that this one will be a total calamity in that ministry. You don't even need a soothsayer to tell. It is politics over solving the endemic problems of providing housing for the people. He has already declared his goal and aspiration. Expect nothing here. There is nothing to even expect from any minister of the APC, if we are to be honest. And this tweet here by Mega says, your mission is not to deliver in office, but to capture Kano. What a reasoning. What a waste. Is there any single minister who is after delivering in office? They are all after one, stupid motive or the other. And this tweet here by Amorab says, these myopic set of people are the ones managing the affairs of this nation. His mission is not to create value or regulate housing challenges, or reduce inferior materials in Nigeria building sector, or create affordable housing for Nigerians. His mission is next election. That is it. That is what the APC stands for. Let the country burn down. They don't care. As long as they are the ones setting the fire. They have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that if we desire to have a country in future, the near future, not too long, if we desire to still have a country, then we must cast our sentiments aside, come together, and kick the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.